LavaWater. Always keep a pet, especially a pet with great sight. Her grandmother told her that. Keep a pet and listen to it. Always pay attention to it. When she asked why, she got a slap across the head. Grandma, full of useful wisdom and advice, had little patience for explanations. Just do what I tell you, girl. She heeded those words. The cat, a beautiful Siamese mix, refused to go in the den alone. The cat would sit in the entryway, eyeing the room, but went no further. She waited, observing the fur baby. There were no problems when she joined the kitty. Upon leaving, the cat would follow. After a few days, she knew. She felt watched. The source of the feeling lingered for long periods, sticking to the corners of the room. A week proved long enough. That afternoon, with the sun shining brightly through the windows, she spoke to it. "Hey, I'm not afraid of you. I know you're here. The cat knows you're here. Just come out so we can talk." Seconds ticked by, turning into a minute, then 2, then 20. There would be no response that day. She repeated her declarations on the second and third day. The presence, still felt, stayed hidden. On the fourth day, as the cat sat waiting for her to enter the room, she saw it. It stood in a corner, half hidden by the dark drapes. She startled, but settled straight away. "Finally! Come on out. I'm not going to hurt you." The being hesitated still.
"You have a reputation in our world."
It spoke with exaggerated calm. "Really? I can't imagine why. What is said about me?"
"That you are powerful. You can move dimensions."
"Move dimensions? What does that even mean?" The being blushed.
"I am not sure, but they made it sound bad."
"Well, I can promise I have no such powers. I won't hurt you. Let me see you." The being stepped from behind the drapes. Its eyes were large, round, protruding globes of jet black spaced far apart. It would not meet her gaze at first. It stared at the carpet like a child, awaiting the wrath of a parent.
"Do you lie?"
"What? No, I don't lie. I mean, I have, but I'm not lying now. I don't have those powers. I have nothing. I'm just a regular person."
"Regular?"
It raised its eyes to meet hers. As he took in the sight of her, his stance shifted. The angst of the moment broke down. Then he laughed. He laughed hard, doubling over, clutching his belly.
"I have been so afraid to approach you. Oh, this is hilarity."
His laughter dried to snorts and giggles.
"I was afraid you would banish me to nothingness, or turn me into something. I was unsure of what to expect, but I see only kindness. It is funny from my position."
"Well, I'm happy you're amused and no longer afraid. You haven't told me what you're doing here."
"I am here to hire you."
"Hire me? Me?"
"Yes, I am from Yadu. I am here to offer whatever price you seek to rid us of an opposer."
"Okay." She sat on the couch. Her thoughts raced across her face in a ruminating stare. The cat immediately took advantage of the available lap, circling, then settling, issuing a low purr. The being stepped forward, bolder, braver.
"There is a rising force on my planet. The leader, Romar, has been effective in recruiting and is more powerful than expected. We cannot fight this group. They are dangerous zealots looking to destroy all that we have built. Our history and lives are being annihilated. We must stop them. Failure would mean the end to our society."
"Oh, that's terrible. I wish I could help you. I'm just not the person you're looking for. I'm not for hire like a mercenary. I don't kill." The being waited. A small knowing smile played on its tiny lips.
"You said getting your approval would be challenging, and I was not to push you. I will leave my offer as it is and return in a day. I hope you will see fit to assist us.
Before she could respond, the being tapped a circular disc attached to the right side of his head and vanished. Well, Kitty, that was interesting, wasn't it? As promised, the being appeared the next day to a quiet dwelling. He moved freely through the room, observing. The baubles on display were homely, silly even. He expected more from a famed warrior. He startled to a nudging at his legs, seeking attention.
So you are warmed to me now.
He reached down, picking up the cat to get a better look. The ice blue eyes of the creature stared at him coolly.
How does it feel to be alive only at the whim of a higher species?
That is a question for yourself, dear waiter. He would never use the degrading word for his kind, but the voice spoke in his head as clear as his own thoughts. He looked around the room for the source, then met the deep, penetrating stare of the feline he held. Hi, waiter. The cat winked at him. His knees weakened, nearly buckling. Issuing a pinched sound of anguish, he threw the cat across the room. It landed a few feet away, then turned to face him. The awareness of the animal was unmistakable. He raised his hand to activate his departure. The words of the ancient Abraka language were half heard, but it didn't matter. His hand stopped before reaching the device. Straining to move, beads of sweat developed on his flat brow. He stood immobile and helpless. Have a seat. Unwilling but unable to stop his movements, he stepped backwards until his legs met the recliner. His body was no longer his own as he sat and leaned back, his feet elevated off the floor. The cat jumped onto his chest, sniffing his face, and finally, nose to nose. Do you always blindly go about orders? Usually your kind are smarter, more diligent. Must be the unnatural acts you are committing in opposition to the goddess. Or maybe it is the natural decline of intelligence of a species willfully isolated from the rest. Your weakness is glaring in the shadow of your insecurities. Only blinks given in response. Lesson 2. Who is Romar's mother?
I do not know of Romar's mother, nor do I care.
You should. You really should, because Romar is the only son of Bast. The gravity of the cat's words weighed on the face of the being. Yeah, you have asked to murder the grandson of the all-powerful god Ra. Romar is his vehicle for change. But you didn't know that. The cat jumped down from the chest of the being. No matter. You will all die the same deaths. Pick me up, waiter. Against his will, he reached down to pick up the feline, using his left arm as a perch. Well, waiter, this will be a costly lesson. Know whom you seek. She placed her warm forepaws in his hand to steady herself. Oh, you must have experience with this. You hold well. Now, let's go and see your commander so that we may inform him of his ill-conceived notions of change. Oh, you're in here. So that must mean that silly spirit is gone, huh? Oh, yeah, he was a silly thing, wasn't he? Oh, yes, he was. Oh, yes, he was. You want some treats? Let's go get that kitty some treats. If you enjoy this content, don't be shy. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe.